intersection itself and actually ignited on fire. The fire department did respond and extinguish that fire. Unfortunately, the lone occupant and driver of this vehicle was pronounced deceased on scene. Both the officer and the prisoner that was on board in the patrol vehicle were transported to local hospitals, both with minor injuries, and they're both expected to survive. As in any, collision involving, a tragedy like this, our vehicular crimes unit comes out. This is going to be a lengthy process, as it always is. They're going to fine-tooth comb the scene and try to determine exactly what led up and what happened, transpired just prior to the collision. That's going to take a process. This accident reconstruction process essentially is a big math equation and is going to take a pretty extensive amount of time. Not only this scene, but then the subsequent investigation. As in any collision that we have where an officer or a city vehicle is involved, there is an internal investigation that is going to run subsequent to this investigation. So both of those are going to take an extended period of time to come to any sort of conclusions. But obviously, again, as of right now, our thoughts and prayers go out to the our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of this victim. It's a tragedy. It's a tragic incident. But we're going to do what we do in these scenarios, come down to a conclusion on what happened and what transpired, up to and what led to this collision. I'll take some questions if you guys have any.
We're hearing reports that the officer rear-ended that car. Is that true?
Specifics and dynamics of that will come through the accident reconstruction process. Obviously, we can tell by different points of contact on the vehicles and maybe can ascertain some of that. But right now, I don't have definitive information on that.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm confused and I apologize.
Yes.
So the patrol unit was traveling westbound.
Yes.
And then was heading south.
Was making a left-hand turn.
Making a left-hand turn. So where was the other vehicle and how was there an impact between the two?
The other vehicle was eastbound on Thunderbird Road.
So the patrol vehicle hit, because I heard careened into a light pole?
After the initial collision between the two vehicles, the other vehicle continued eastbound, hit the light pole right here in the traffic box, and then ended up a little bit east of this intersection.
So is it your impression that the police cruiser hit the victim?
There was a collision between the two vehicles. They were both mobile at the time. I don't know if I can ascertain it specifically who hit who, but there was a collision in the middle of this intersection. Both vehicles were mobile at the time of that collision. After the impact, the other vehicle involved continued eastbound on Thunderbird Road.
Because of the impact, do you believe speed would be a factor for either vehicle because of the impact that it hit that light pole?
I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
and that could be something that could be derived from that. The specifics on that and kind of an estimation of speed comes from that accident reconstruction process. That's one of the big things that happen with these vehicular crimes detectives. That's their expertise, is taking these scenes, after which taking measurements, doing what they do, putting it in that equation, and then really coming down to a point of estimating speeds of both vehicles in any situation, whether it's involving a patrol vehicle or not.
Residents, business owners say that this area is prone to accidents all the time, and there's even cameras on the intersection.
Right.
Are you guys going to be able to utilize those cameras to help your investigation?
Yeah, as part of any of these investigations, and any investigation for that matter, cameras are a vital piece of evidence now. We have canvassed the businesses already. We know which ones have videography and potentially some cameras that may show the intersection that could lead us to some of the evidence elements of that. That will be part of their investigation to collect that.
Go ahead.
That car seemed to burn pretty hot. Do you know, is it an electric vehicle by chance to make it?
I'm not positive on that. I can try to get that for you. I can talk to the detectives over there and see if there's an element of it being some sort of electrical vehicle, but I'm not positive on that aspect.
Back to her questioning, no word yet, like you can't say if somebody ran a red light.
I can't say that now. Obviously, we have witnesses that were at the intersection that were not involved in the collision. Those witnesses will be interviewed. One of those questions will be, what light did you see? What direction were you facing? To try to determine you know, which light was which way at the time, which is obviously a huge part of this collision and any collision at an intersection.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Can we confirm any more info about the victim in the car? We saw a witness on scene that may have mentioned that it was his roommate. Is there any more information you can release at this time?
Right now, I don't have that information. Unfortunately, an incident that results where there is fire, identification element, the process of identification is going to take a little bit of time, and most likely will rely on the office of the medical examiner to do that portion of it, to really identify the victim and be able to, you know, to where I can let people know. The second I get that, I will absolutely get it out.
Can you confirm female?
I can't confirm anything right now. Once I can get that, I'll either let you guys know or I'll put out a media advisory real quick and let you guys know at least that element.
I want to go back to the initial transport. Can you talk about what that initial call was and why that arrest was made?
Yeah, it was an assault actually a little bit east of here. Probable cause was established, and the individual, the prisoner in the police car at the time of the collision, probable cause was established for that person, and he was arrested.
And what charges are they facing?
At this point, the way I understand, it's going to be assault. I don't know if there's added, you know, elements to charging on that.
Was there an urgency to get that prisoner to that precinct a mile away?
No, I don't think there's an urgency. You know, it's common procedure. We're going to transport to a local precinct and conduct that booking paperwork and do what we need to do to complete the process.
So that arrest was made this morning?
Yes, it was actually just prior to this incident. They left the location a little bit east of here and were traveling to the precinct south of here.
Police officer, male or female?
Male.
So was the officer's vehicle, did he have lights and sirens on? Was he, going back to being in a hurry, was he lights and sirens at all?
No, there was no lights and sirens from the officer. It was just a transport to a local precinct. They were not what we call an emergency driving mode at that point.
Prisoner male or female?
Male.
The car that hit the power box, did it affect any of the surrounding businesses around here at all?
So obviously right now the power shut down on the lights itself. I haven't been told of any surrounding businesses that it's affected power. Obviously we will contact streets, SRP, to ensure that prior to us leaving, this intersection will be up and running and be as safe as possible with the lights. Anything else?
How long will this be closed down, you think? Like, estimated?
It's tough because of that element right there. We're kind of dependent not only on the investigation. This is a concurrent investigation with 2 investigative details, with it being internal and a criminal investigation. And then you add on the lights situation. It might be an extensive period of time, and that last factor may be the one that extends it a little bit farther. But I'd expect, I mean, this is one of those that are going to take hours. So.
Was that initial assault at a business or just on the sidewalk? Or?
No, I don't have specific details, but it was not at a business. All I know is it was down the street and it was an assault. So anything else I have, I'll get you guys out of the media advisory, or if I'm still here and you guys are still here, I'll let you guys know.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Here, we got a microphone on you. Oh, I got it. So you will be, I'll let them know. Yeah.